Well, the pathway to a solid career and financial security, so we've been told, has been through a college education and a four-year degree. But that appears to be going away. With companies struggling to hire in a tight job market due to the pandemic, many organizations are now lowering their job requirement to attract job applicants, some even eliminating a degree requirement altogether. Here's a list of some of the prominent Fortune 500 companies who have already jumped on the growing trend of offering high-level roles to applicants who are not required to have a college degree. General Motors, Microsoft, and Apple, just to name a few of those. Here to discuss the trickle-down effect of the move is our Thursday company, Amber Athey, Washington editor at The Spectator World, and Republican consultant Mehek Cooke. Ladies, welcome to the show. Good to see both of you. All right, this is a fascinating trend to watch. Mehek, I'll start with you. I mean, for many people, they're probably like, great, I don't need to go to college anymore. Why would I go to college? Why would I ensue all that debt if I can get the same job at a Fortune 500 company with going to 4 years of school? But I just think once you make this move, how do you ever go back to requiring those positions to ever again have a college degree?
I think it's going to be really tough to go back and rewind, but it's also showing you that our educational institutions aren't truly prepping kids to be not only college ready, but also to be ready for the real world. We have a huge issue today in our academic institutions where kids are not ready for jobs. They're not prepared. They don't have the work ready skills. So I think that this is not a surprise that a lot of these companies are saying, maybe you don't need that four-year degree. And I would agree, if you don't go into medicine or the law or engineering or some of these specialized fields, I don't think academic institutions are doing our kids justice today. And until they don't change, I applaud some of these companies for actually drawing that hard line.
Amber, it's a good point. You know, this almost makes it more competitive. We've seen how expensive college tuitions have become, that these people go into jobs that are paying, you know, $20,000 to $50,000 and they have over $100,000 of debt. It's like, how can you even pay that off, especially with today's inflation rate? And so maybe this will help colleges realize, like, hey, people don't need us more. We need to lower some of these tuition rates and maybe try to draw some people in.
I think that's exactly right. Colleges are either going to have to lower tuition prices or increase the actual services that they offer and make sure that they really are preparing students for taking on jobs when they graduate. Because right now, there's not much difference between a high school and a college graduate, aside from maybe the experience of living away from your parents for 4 years. And you hear a lot from conservatives that college is worthless at this point because of the exorbitant costs as well as the insane liberal indoctrination that students face. But until recently, it just hasn't been typical or possible for a lot of people to get high-paying jobs without college degrees unless they go into a blue-collar profession. So I think it's really refreshing to see that some of these top companies are saying, hey, we're either willing to train on the job or we recognize that college degrees simply aren't what they used to be.
Yeah, I think that's right, Mehek. It goes back to skill training or to trade school, which really has gotten, I think, a bad rap over the last few years because so much attention was only on these four-year degrees on university or college. But you look at some of these trade jobs and positions, those people are making great money. And so maybe some people will open their eyes to say, hey, there's other opportunities. I don't just have to go get this traditional degree.
I absolutely agree with you. I mean, in Ohio, we've been pushing jobs in oil and gas production. You can make six-figure salaries by going through tech schools, workers training. You don't need the four-year degree when you're taking classes like women's studies and yoga to actually graduate. That's not going to help you in the real world. The cost is exorbitant. We're putting Americans behind, and we're truly at a disservice at our academic institutions today because kids are not being prepared for future jobs. It's better for kids to consider some of these tech schools because you're getting that advanced training, you're getting hands-on skills, you're actually going to a job and using your skill set and applying it at a much faster rate than you would. I think college is a setback today, and institutions really need to step up and meet the demand of our workforce because they're truly failing.
Okay, so Amber, I think one of maybe the negative sides of this is we already have an issue with people wanting to go back to work after COVID. We've seen that people can say that staying home can pay them more money. And now that people are saying in some of these lower end jobs, or I think of a lot of the hotel industry or small businesses, even restaurants, those industries have had a really hard time getting people back into work. So if those people now can say, well, that I was in this industry because I didn't have a degree, and now I know I can go get some awesome lucrative job, why would I be working at this hotel when I know I could go maybe get a job at Google?
That's definitely a fair point, but I think there are still ways to distinguish between people who have the same degree, just like you would a college graduate. There are things on someone's resume in terms of part-time positions or internships that they've held, apprenticeships or skills-based job training that can differentiate different candidates that have high school degrees, just like you can differentiate candidates who have college degrees. And so companies have to figure out ways to do that to make sure that they're still getting individuals who are prepared for the job or who are prepared to undergo on-the-job training in order to be the best fit for that position.
So interesting to see. You know, we look at a lot of these trickle-down effects from what happened from COVID and the pandemic. I think this is actually one of the good ones that we're seeing, that actually these companies are waking up, that you may not have to have a 4-year degree to do some of these roles. So we'll see how this all continues to play out. Amber, Mehek, thanks so much for being here with us to discuss.
Thank you.